blue cheese, mushroom Swiss, and inside out burger. So putting our bacon down, we're doing all these at the same time. Just 2 slices of bacon. There goes our mushrooms. There's a little bit of Worcestershire sauce in there with the mushrooms. That's what you're seeing bubbling up in the background there. Honestly, I probably did the order of this cook wrong, just for notes. Happy accidents here. I could have totally waited and done the mushrooms later. That's why I had to turn that right burner off and just move them over, because they're going to cook way, way faster than the burgers and the bacon. So I just turned that burner off and moved them over. Then I actually turned off the other outside burner because it was getting way too hot. The bacon was starting to burn. So I just did the 2 middle burners here. So learn from my mistakes, happy accidents. Do your cooking order, it's always important. There goes 2 pieces of bacon, flipping those over. And then we're going to put down the butter and toast our buns. Again, this could have been done at a later time as well. I really kind of was all over the place with the order of this cook, but it's okay. Still worked out. Everything tasted delicious, you know. It's just a good learning experience. So here's, this one is like an onion bun. Highly recommend this if you can find it at your grocery store. I use this one for the mushroom burger. The other 2 are just plain brioche buns, nothing. They're the same bun, but we're going to do something different with the inside out one at the end. So bacon's done. It's going over to sit next to the mushrooms in the warming area. I'm going to flip these buns around so that the can get toasted evenly. They're looking good, but they're not done yet. Oh, that one looked good. And make sure they all get toasted evenly in the front of the griddle. I always go to the front of the griddle with these buns just because they seem to toast better there. It's not too hot. So all 4 of those are looking good. They're a little hot. Probably could have used a spatula there, but whatever. So get them off the griddle, and then let's go ahead with these burgers. I'm using the Montreal steak seasoning. Would highly recommend this on your burgers. I mean, salt, pepper is fine, garlic powder, but steak seasoning, brisket seasoning, if you can get something like that, I would highly recommend trying that. It just really spices them up a little bit. So we're still at 400 degrees. These are just regular pre-pattied burgers. I just bought them from Kroger. I didn't go out there and, you know, patting them up myself. Trying to get to around 155, 160, right at 154. That way I can get about medium, maybe medium well. Here goes our mushrooms with the Worcestershire sauce on it. Then we're going to top that with a piece of Swiss cheese. I apologize for the glare. Go ahead and melt the cheese. If you're not melting your cheese on your burgers, we just can't be friends. While that one melts, I went ahead and put my blue cheese topping on this one. That's blue cheese, sour cream, salt, pepper, garlic. Delicious. It's a recipe that's in my ebook. I would highly recommend trying it. Then the bacon went on top of the blue cheese, hence the bacon blue burger. And then that one's delicious. It's done. The blue cheese is like somewhere between like a spread and a chunky blue cheese dip. Like, it's just really, really good. So, I mean, I would highly recommend it. Piece of cheddar on that. Again, we're melting our cheese. And then here comes the inside out. What I'm then doing is you're putting the toasted side down, and you're going to build the burger on what you would consider to be the top and bottom of your bun. So that's ketchup, mustard, onions. That's just your basic. All this is your basic McDonald's single. Ketchup, mustard, onions, pickles, cheese. But it's the buns inside out. So if the ingredients sound familiar, that's because it's a McDonald's single cheeseburger. And then see how I flipped that? So now the toasted side is out, which is just what makes this fantastic. It makes it almost like a patty melt / really unique burger. And I just absolutely loved it. So I would highly recommend trying this, even if you use different toppings. Just try doing the bun that way. Great burgers. I've never been to Brooklyn or anywhere in New York to have an authentic chopped cheese. So this is not an authentic chopped cheese because I don't know what that is. This is just some dude in Ohio making it in his backyard. However, I have been to Jimmy John's, which is where I got this bread from. And that is the moral of this cook is if you don't like the bread at your grocery store, because I don't really like the bread that I get from Kroger for cheesesteaks and stuff. They just don't have a great bread. Go to your local sub shop or bakery, but a sub shop because they're already making all these hoagies, and ask them if you can just buy the bread. Usually you can. At Jimmy John's, they gave me a good price on it, and it totally stepped up these chopped cheeses. I've been using them for cheesesteaks as well, and it's really made them a lot better because the key is just getting that nice soft bread, and I couldn't find it at my grocery store. So go to your local sub shop, ask them for some bread. Start off with some oil, then we're going to throw down all 4 hamburger patties. We're doing 4 hamburger patties that are going to end up making 3 chopped cheeses. These are about a little less than quarter-pound patties. And we're going to add onions to all of them, just right on with them. Let them cook up. Hopefully get a little bit of a sear. I'm going around like 400 again. And then start chopping up the hamburger patties. So you have the onions in there with the hamburger patties. I probably could have let them sear up a little more. That's okay. I got excited, wanted to start doing the old double spatula chop. Use a seasoned salt or all-purpose salt, pepper, garlic to go on there. Throwing down some mushrooms for the mushroom one. Then continue to just cook it, until there's no pink left and the onions are in there with the hamburger meat. Watch our mushrooms in the corner there. Make sure they don't get too overdone because they'll cook quick on you. And then once they get kind of all the pink out, we're going to go ahead and separate out this hamburger and the onions into 3 separate piles for each of our chopped cheeses. So each one's going to have a different little profile here, different chopped cheese. One's going to get the mushrooms, obviously. We're going to start off here. This is a little bit of mozzarella I think I had going with the mushrooms. You could use pepper jack or provolone. American for the other two. And they're just normal American. Mayonnaise is going on the first one. This is what is the classic chopped cheese. Mayonnaise, ketchup. Then we're just adding the hamburger, onions, and American cheese. Then you top it off just like you would a burger with some lettuce and a couple slices of tomato, and that's your classic regular run-of-the-mill chopped cheese. At least from my research, that's what it is. Next one, no condiments on the inside, just the burger and the cheese. I'm doing this one like a Big Mac, so doing our lettuce on top. Then we're going to add some white onions that's diced up. Also some Thousand Island dressing. I forgot the pickles, please, but that also makes it a Big Mac. Pickles, special sauce. You know the song. I'm not going to sing the song. Last one's like a steakhouse chopped cheese. So it's got the mushrooms, it's got the burger, and then I put some A1 on top of it. All of them were good. I would highly recommend trying them or just trying a chopped cheese. And don't forget about getting that bread from your local sub shop.
So, White Castle sliders. These were delicious. They're a little bit time consuming. I don't know if I'll be making these all the time, but it was fun to do. It was interesting. I did not know about the dehydrated onions. You'll see that in the cook. I have a special relationship with White Castle. It's stationed here in Columbus, Ohio. Also, in high school, we used to go camping, and on the way down camping, we would stop, and all of us, me and like 7 of my best friends, would get a 10-sack each with onion petals and a Coke, and you had to eat it all. You just had to eat it all because we were going camping. And then we just sit around the fire the rest of the night, pretty much Blazing Saddles like, and just laugh and laugh and laugh. Moral of the story is, most men are still just like 15 or 16-year-old boys at heart, and they just like to laugh at farts.
Starting the night before inside with this wax paper, learn from my mistake. You need to spray this wax paper because you'll see what happened later by me not spraying it down with some oil or some non-stick spray. But we're going to go ahead and roll it out right on the back of this sheet pan to get them thin. That was 1 pound of burger. And then I took a pizza cutter to try to cut them into 12 little burgers. Put a hole in each one. You got to put a hole. That way the steam comes through. This is just the back of a blender paddle that I had, a little whisk there. Then you freeze them. You have to freeze them too. This is a lot of work, but it was fun. I don't know if I'm going to do it again, but it was fun. Dehydrated onions going on the stove with a little bit of water, about 1.5 cups of water going in with the 1 cup of onions. Put those out and you just let those cook and they just rehydrate. I just put them on the griddle and let them cook. Then I spread them all the way out, added more water, and put down the frozen patties. But oh, what do you know? Some of the parchment stuck because I didn't spray it down. So now you want to steam the burgers on top of the onions, and then they just put their buns right on top of the burgers. This did not work out well for me. Maybe someone has some tips. Next time I do it, I'm probably not going to do it this way. I'm just going to put the burgers on the onions and then flip them because I just couldn't get my griddle to stay at a consistent temp and let the steam come through and cook the burgers all the way through. At White Castle, they don't flip them. I watched a bunch of videos. I did research, went there, bought a sack of 10. They don't flip them, man. So, and I got to where mine were like, they're still raw on top. And I was just waiting and waiting. And then my buns were still had some of the raw burger juice on. So I had to take every bun off and put it on the griddle to make sure I cooked that out. So learning lesson, maybe somebody has some tips. It was fun to try. Again, I don't know if I'll do this again, but it was fun to try to do it the White Castle way. I'm putting cheese on each one, pickles on half of them for me, no pickles on the other half for my wife and my son. And then you can see I'm going to plate them here and get all 6 of them, no pickles for them. Then the pickled ones for me. Have a good one. Keep on griddling, friends.